How do I help them because they need help? That's the question I heard so often in the last 2 weeks that I decided to make a podcast episode about it because it's coming from all directions. It was a mom of a 3 and a 5-year-old sons who was frustrated, saying like, I don't want to yell at them like my mom used to yell at me. I want to make them feel heard. I don't want them to feel dismissed like I used to. So I'm asking them, like, why are you crying? Why are you upset and hitting your brother? Just explain to me, what are your emotions? Yeah, I kind of like frustrated. I cannot help them. I'm nice and gentle. I'm explaining logically. I understand something is going on for them, but they cannot tell me. How do I help them express their feelings? Yeah. Then there is a woman who's seeing the patterns in other people because she did so much therapy. She's so self-aware. She sees the generational patterns in others. And she's like, but how do I help them? Because then I feel disrespected when they don't want my help and they block me as if I don't have the right to help, right? And so it's like, it's in this circle. And what I see very often that women who are very sensitive, who can feel the emotions of others, who are very empathetic and nurturing and feel like this is my mission to help other people. And then they feel frustrated and resentful when either your help is not appreciated and people block you out and they get even mad for you trying to help, or who are so absorbed that they are even trying to pull people who are not ready to get help, or like resisting it and telling you like, no. And who are frustrated with, well, whatever I'm doing so much for them. I'm trying to help them so much and things are not changing and it's getting worse. Like, what's wrong? Like, please help me, help them. So if this has been you, if you have such a big heart and you have such a huge awareness and you see how people are sabotaging themselves and all you do is from the bottom of your heart is trying to help and it's backfiring, and it's actually making things worse and it's making you feel worse, then this podcast episode is for you, because we need to check what's really going on and how to get out of this like circle that's going down. And despite you having such great, beautiful, positive intentions, all it's doing is dragging you and maybe even the other person down. Like, what is happening? Let's talk. Welcome to the next episode of the Zen Supermom podcast. Hi there. So my name is Elena. I'm a mommy tantrum specialist because I used to be specialist at having mommy tantrums. It started when my daughter was very young. It took me quite a couple of years, longer than I would like to admit, to realize that it's not about me pushing my daughter to manage her emotions. It's not my responsibility as a parent to prevent my daughter or to feel responsible for her always being happy and prevent her from feeling sad or getting angry and me feeling responsible for her tantrums. And it's time to start looking in here. What is it that I am doing or not doing? And what is actually like a healthy emotional management? How does it even look like? There are so many women who are coming to me with like, I need some better anger management because self-care, parenting books, even like therapy, psychiatrists, I've done it all. I understand the patterns. I understand why even I am getting angry, but I cannot stop it and I cannot stop other people from hurting themselves and me. So what the heck is going on? So let's talk about it. Okay, because first of all, I never blame or judge anybody. So I want you to know, yes, I'm very direct, but that doesn't mean that like it's your fault. I'm not going to be saying that's not the message I want to get across. If anything, then it's you who have been caught up in these patterns. And so that's where we need to turn that mirror back. Whenever, let's take like a helicopter up, whenever you feel yourself caught up in a pattern when you are pushing the other person to change, you feel like you want it so much and maybe you want them to heal even more than they want it for themselves, that should be the first red flag. That should be the first signal for you to like, woo, back off. Because the sad truth is, You cannot blame, guilt, push, persuade, convince anybody to change or do anything differently unless they are ready and they want it themselves. Okay? And you know already that's true. Because imagine, like, if you can't push how hard it is to push somebody else from the outside to change. Well, how can you expect to do that if you cannot even look inside yourself? What is it in you that feels like you should, and it's your responsibility, and you must let them know that you are the messenger? They don't see it for themselves. I have to tell them without the invitation. And I know it could be like, you could turn the mirror on me and to say like, well, that's rich coming from you, lady, coming here like 170 podcast episodes just telling people what's wrong with them and telling them what to do. No. I'm not pushing myself into your ear. This is where you have the choice to listen to me or shut me down. I'm not knocking back on your door saying, hey, you didn't finish listening to my episode. I'm here putting transparency in your windows, putting like a signals on your lawn, putting like things on your app like, hey, you didn't finish listening. You better listen. Otherwise, bad things are going to happen to you. No, you're here by choice. Because there's a part of you who feels ready. And you have been consuming so much, most likely. Like, there's so many women who are reaching out to me. They're telling me like, I've been doing self-development, like self-growth and self-transformation stuff for decades. I love it, or since I was 18 and I figured out how messed up my parents were, or my upbringing, like the entire community, society where I came from was so unhealthy, so toxic. I've been working on myself so much. There's so much knowledge. And yes, I have gone a long way already. Even comparing to your parents, you're like, I cleaned up so much, and you should feel proud for that. Absolutely. But then this is the trap. Because you have so much knowledge, you can start seeing the patterns in other people. And you're like, oh my gosh, she's repeating my mistake. I have to tell her. Please, I need to shake you so that you listen to me. You're repeating my mistake. Like, stop it. And then what happens next? Sometimes people are like, wow, what is this now, right? They're not ready to hear it. And then what do you feel? How does it make you feel when you have the best, most pure, like nurturing, empathetic, healing intentions for others, and what comes back is the opposite? How does that make you feel? Disrespected, not heard, not valued. Yeah, that those people, like, you're giving them so much and not enough is coming to you. How dare they getting upset when you're there to help? Yeah. What is it for you? Can you cleanly detach from the outcome and share and just like create safe space for people, like, if you need me, I'm here? Or do you feel like you have to wake them, shake them, convince them, and pull them so that they see the value you bring in helping them healing? Because if there's any pull, if it feels like energetic cords coming and you feel like drag into it, you keep thinking about them. You keep thinking about the last conversation that you had face to face or on messages, and you feel like, I should have said it differently so that they would get it. Okay, this is what I'm going to say the next time because they need to see it from a different perspective. And maybe this is the argument I could use. Maybe this is the article or the YouTube video I should send them so that they understand that I have a point, because they don't understand what I mean. Maybe I just need to send them this like webinar or this link so that they hear it from somebody else. Like, I've been telling them for years, how come they don't hear me? I just need to keep like sending things and pushing because I need to save them. They need to be saved, and they're so badly like in need of help that they don't even understand that. But I can see it, so it's my obligation as a friend, as a spouse, as a family member, as anybody, yeah? Is that the energetic pull you're feeling? Because if so, then my invitation will be, first of all, before you're ready to help and influence positively anybody else, you need to look within that pull. Where is that coming from? What are you trying to prove? Honestly, And I don't mean it as a judgmental question. I mean it like, look within and feel into that question. What are you trying to prove to whom? Because if you were honestly driven only by that pure need to help, there would be no attachment to the result, to the outcome. Because that's what like unconditional anything is, right? Unconditional love, unconditional empathy, right? Unconditional compassion. Whenever you do anything, whenever you want to give anything because you're expecting to get approval, get thank you, get recognition, get like, wow, you're so smart, thank you so much, then it's not unconditional anymore. And then, I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're not doing it for selfless reasons. Then it becomes selfish, not in a way that you're egoistic, narcissistic person trying to grab people. No, that's the opposite. But there's a part of you that's meeting the needs that have never been met. And this is how you do it. This is what always happens with trauma, by the way. This is a classic trauma pattern. And if you're one of these like me who said, well, I had a happy child. What are you talking about? I never had any trauma in my life. Okay, call it then a pattern, pain pattern. I don't care what you call it. But it's something from your past where there was a part of you who did not feel recognized, worthy, like seen for the value you bring. And then this is a classic trauma flag when you're trying to abuse one of your strengths to get that need met. And this is why and how so many people end up in helping professions. Nurses, firefighters, police people, all the medical professions like doctors, coaches, therapists, counselors. Most of us, that's how I ended up in coaching and therapy as well, because I first of all wanted to understand myself. And when I realized that I naturally have a talent for connecting the dots for people, for seeing the patterns underneath, all the layers that interconnect that they don't even see for themselves, I started overusing it. And I started coaching people and giving advice even to my friends without them asking. And they were like, why are you asking so many questions? Why are you pushing me? And any friend sharing conversation turns out into a coaching session while you stay behind your mirror. You don't share anything about your private life because it's apparently everything is amazing and you've got it under control because you're so amazing you can coach yourself. But you keep asking me what's wrong and you keep coaching me without me giving you the permission. So I never had such a direct communication with my friends, but this is the energy that was coming from them. And at one point, one friend told me, like, I'm not telling you anymore. I'm not confiding in you with any more of my secrets because you never tell me anything and you end up giving me like advice and coaching me. It's like, that's not what I need right now. I just want to be heard. I just want to share it with you without you already figuring out what's wrong with me. Right? Sounds familiar? Yes. So this is what I realized. I was abusing one of my strengths because it is my strength. Like, even if this was not my business, I was not getting any money from helping people. I figured out this is still something I would be doing and I will be doing probably for the rest of my life in any capacity, in any kind of context, because I love it. But I realized I can do it only for people who come to me for help. People who come and ask me, not that I push them and convince them and show them how screwed up they are, so that's why you need me, so come. It has to be the other way around. They need to want it. I can help. That's what I'm doing in this podcast episode and every podcast episode. I'm just calling out the patterns in general. And if it's you, and if you catch yourself like, uh-oh, and this has been valuable insight, then it's up to you to go and find the help that you want with me or anybody else, right? But it's your choice, your decision, you're in power, and you're not pushed by anybody. You do it at the time when you feel ready. Yes? Because you wouldn't like to be called out on anything that you're not ready to change, right? Like, I didn't drive for years because I was scared. Like, I had a little trauma from driving a car. And then whenever anybody, and especially my dad, who was the originator of the trauma, of the fear of driving, whenever my dad would remind me, I would explode. I was like, how dare you? And how dare you saying this is part of basic education? Everybody should be driving a car. And then I had like a list of reasons why I wouldn't, why it made perfect sense why I didn't, because I was an expatriate living in like Shanghai. Am I going to like buy a car in Shanghai and drive there? Like, good luck. Or living in Paris around like those crazy streets that it takes twice as much time to drive than to take the metro underground, right? I had all the best reasons for not driving. Whenever my dad would then push me and make a comment like you should be, he wanted it for the best of my reasons, right? Like it's a great skill to have and thing to practice. It's very useful life skill, be able to drive a car. But whenever my dad would remind me of the fact that I cannot, and I knew that there was the fear and the trauma underneath, I was covering up myself with a list of why I cannot, and I kept pushing back and I kept exploding at him. Yeah. So see the dynamic, feel it when you were on the receiving end of somebody who meant well for you, but you felt like this is invasion in my privacy. Like none of your business. You take care of yourself. How dare you judging me? Right? So it doesn't feel good when you're on the receiving end. And yet, I did the same. I put myself, well, yeah, but I have good intentions. I just want to help you. I see how much you're suffering. No. So step 1, recognize this is going on. This is the dynamic. It's not helping. Stop. Disengage. Step 2, look at what's underneath for you. Which of your needs have not been met when you were little? Did you feel not recognized? Did they tell you were stupid? You were not good enough? Did anybody make you feel like you had to walk on eggshells? Did you have to anticipate the emotional needs of your parents? Is that why you're so good at reading energy and other people's patterns and anticipating their move and the mood and the next move? Because they could explode at any moment, just like my mom used to. So did you become a good psychologist, maybe by profession or by hobby, because that's what you had to do as a kid? Were you there when your parents divorced and you had to be the emotional blanket and emotional support of your mom because she broke down? And you felt, I can't say anything to my mom because she already is carrying so much on her shoulders. I have to help her process her pain and like talk through the relationship with my dad so that I put my mom back up on her legs so that she can function and take care of me because I'm too little to take care of both of us. So were you put in that parent role? Was it reversed? That instead of your mom being your emotional support, you had to be hers? Did you have to be the mediator between your fighting parents? Yeah? So think about it. What was the need that very early on helped you develop this talent and this skill of being so empathetic, nurturing, caring? I had lots of clients who had to be the mom because mom had 3-4 kids. They were the oldest. Mom got divorced. She was working too much. Dad was absent, either at work or alcoholic, or he left. He just checked out. So then my clients, when they were little girls, they had to take care of all the siblings. So they were never allowed to be the mom. They had to be the one who was creating that emotional space for everybody else to have tantrums. They could never afford to do that for themselves. This is where they were forced to overdevelop and feel over-responsible for other people's happiness because they couldn't stand it. They felt like if there's anybody happy or upset or angry around them, it's their fault because somebody pushed them to feel this way when they were growing up, right? So dig. Step number 1 is dig. Now, many of the women who come to me, they already know, well, this is what happened. I am totally aware because I did so much therapy. I know this is coming from my childhood. I see it. Logically, I understand it. My brain understands this has never been my fault. Maybe to the point that I don't even blame my parents because I understand they were the victims of their upbringing and their beliefs and their traumas and their horrible things that happened in their lives. But, and this is the final piece that I want to bring to you, but I know it, my head understands it, but the moment there's too much pressure on me, there's too much judgment of others, I'm too tired, I'm exhausted emotionally, and somebody else pushes me, I lose it. I don't have the tools to work with myself. I have this understanding, logical capacity, lots of memory. I read so many, like millions of books. I have so many women telling me I read millions of trauma books. I get it. Like I could give the next webinar on trauma, but I'm still suffering from it. My body is suffering through inflammation. I have autoimmune disease. I have crazy hormones. I'm struggling with my weight. I'm not sleeping well. And I explode. I can be 99% like this most beautiful, nurturing Mother Teresa. And then when it's compiling, because very often one of the other symptoms is you're conflict avoidant, because you feel responsible for creating calm, peace, and happiness and joy to the point when you're faking it when you're feeling angry, and it compiles. It's like, something is happening, and you're like, you cannot set the boundary, you cannot speak up for yourself because that would be selfish, that would be nice, and it would make people uncomfortable, and your drive is to make people happy. So you compile it in you until there's one last, like, insignificant, like it was such a stupid thing what happened. Normally I would have never reacted this way. But because you have this pressure cooker stuck till the top, then the last drop comes and you're like, wow. And then there's a huge outleash. Okay. And you're like, holy moly. I can see it in others. I can tell them the page of the book they should read. I remember it. I memorized it. And yet I don't have the tools to help me in the moment. I'm doing yoga, I'm doing meditations, I'm taking care of myself, like going for massages, and I don't know what. But I don't have the tools, practical ways that would help me to not only not explode when it becomes too much, but even release so that it does not come to that point. I don't have the practical tools. And this is the final point when I tell them, well, what to look for to get the help. Because there are tools. We are not talking about the outdated classic talk therapy, okay? This is not about EMDR, CBT, because it's not about the behavior itself. EMDR talks with the trauma memory that happened, like the shock trauma that happened to you in the past. If this is the pattern we are recognizing, it was most likely 1,000 paper cuts, the parent not listening. It's not that there's a shock trauma that happened to you when you were little. You might have had a happy childhood. But all of this pressure, daily reminders, you're not good enough, you're not heard, you need to put other first, and you need to figure out this emotional landscape, the minefield you need to learn to navigate. That's not classified as a trauma by classic psychology. That's, by the way, what I'm trying to change now. That's why I'm doing my PhD, and that's why I'm writing all of my thesis and already so many papers, and when I'm thinking about like in which papers, psychology papers I'm going to publish, because this needs to be put on the map for psychologists. They don't consider this a trauma, therefore they don't have any tools, they don't have any like recipe on how to heal this. While 95% of the planet is walking around with that, some shape or form of that. Yeah. So it's not your fault. It's not that you missed anything. Most of the people do. And that's nothing. It's not that I'm like so smart that like, oh, you're the God. No, I'm not. I just used my talent for connecting the dots. And I tested it with hundreds of people. And I spoke to thousands on these assessment calls. So I would be stupid not to see it at this point, right? So this is what you need. You need practical tools to take care of the inner child who got emotionally frozen back then when she was forced to navigate emotionally the minefield and the unsafe environment, or any other reason why you were actually pushed to overdevelop this talent for helping other people, being so nurturing. But then how I know it's abused is because you're expecting anything back. Once you heal it, and I can speak from my experience how tough it is, but it is possible. Once you heal it, you let go of any expectation or any need to get anything back. I'm not doing this podcast episode to get hundreds of emails saying, thank you, you're so smart and you helped me so much. I could not care less. Yes, I care about feedback. I want to make sure that my helping is useful. So I care about getting feedback and data on what is working and what is not working. But in the same way as I'm not letting any haters or people still too much in their trauma, like shooting arrows because they feel pain, I'm not letting that to hurt me. I'm also not letting my ego be fed. And I don't need anything back from people I help. That's the healthy detachment, because I know my worth. I know what I'm here to do. I'm not comparing. I'm not making my self-worth depend on how many people follow me or how many people send me a thank you email. I could not care less about any of this. I know that I can bring value to people who are ready to hear and who are resonating with it. I know it's not for everybody. I don't have the ego that, I'm here to save the world because I'm the best in the world. No. I know I can help a lot of people. Those who are ready to hear it. And those who understand, who have been through similar patterns or trauma. Yeah? And that's what matters to me. I'm not doing it because I expect anything back. I'm doing it because I know that those who will get help, their effect will ripple. And they will pay forward and they will be able to help others. And that's what I'm here to do. And this is what's possible for you too. Once you start helping, not because you need to validate and get the approval from the outside, but because you healed that, you can give yourself, you can find the proof of your worth, not in your work, but inside. Then you start helping just because this is your purpose, this is your passion, this is your talent. And then the right people at the right time when they are ready, they will flock to you like moths to the light in the darkest night. They will find you and you will be able to help them in a clean way without creating any toxic attachment expectations. You'll be able to help them because not only you will see the patterns for them, but you will be a living, breathing example. Because you don't have it just in your brain, but you're embodying it, you're practicing. You have the tools because you use them on yourself. And this is the point when you can help. This is when it will be clean help without creating any toxic hooks and any back and forth and any negative spiral. This is what creates the healthy ripple effect. Perfectly imperfect. Yeah. Just like I can't help everybody. I'm not here to save the world. But there are lots of people who went through something similar and they understand. If you've been listening to this podcast episode so far, you probably do. Yeah. So this is your invitation. Get curious, go underneath. Check out which of your patterns are triggering this. What is that unmet need? What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to get? Is it unconditional love? Is it approval? Is it the validation? You're worthy enough? You're good enough? What is it? And then go and reach out to me or anybody else you resonate with. But you need to get these practical tools. You need to save that inner child. You need to rewire your brain that's going on the people pleaser, avoider, trauma patterns. You need to start practicing that. Because just like the generational developmental trauma, or call it past pain, cut you 1,000 times day by day. Little tiny things, little comments here and there, nothing huge, but it cut you day by day, million times. That's then the remedy. It will not be like one abracadabra script or method and from one moment to another you're magically healed. No, it will be 1,000,000 times practicing, doing, like applying these tools. Before you can help anybody else, you need to help yourself. And it's going to take repetitions. Just like the brain, you don't have any muscles in your brain, but I call it mental fitness because it's something that needs to be practiced. Your brain is right now going into the highway of people pleasing and like trying to save the world and feeling responsible for somebody else's happiness. Those are trauma patterns. And so you need to consciously start rewiring them, doing the exercises, because it will feel like one day you're writing with your right hand and suddenly I tell you start writing with your left hand. You'll be like, oh, it's uncomfortable. It's too slow. Yes, I can do it, but I prefer, like, this is faster. I can do it without thinking. We need to build new neural pathways in your brain so that you stop going from this like, panic, somebody's in help. I need to help them. Otherwise I'm not good enough. And this is my purpose. I need to help them because I'm responsible. You need to rewrite that automated reaction. There's nothing wrong with your purpose. There's nothing wrong with you. But this trauma pattern needs to get out. Good? Makes sense? Well, let me appreciate you for having the courage to stop just looking outside, because it's safer, and start looking in. And reach out. Let me know. What is the pattern? Is it like totally different than what I shared? Or are you like, oh my goodness, have you been spying in my closet? This is me. Let me know. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. And especially because you are so dedicated to helping others. This will be my last point. This is something I realized. Who heals the healer? Who coaches the coach? If we want other people to be open to getting help, well, then we cannot be hypocrites. We need to be open to getting help. I'm working with mentors and with coaches myself because I realized I will get only as far as I keep getting help to shine light on my blind spots and on things that I keep rediscovering. I can't do it as a DIY. If I expect my clients to understand that they need help, I need to be open to getting help from somebody else too, who is maybe a few steps ahead of me in their healing. Yes. So, well done for having the courage to look inside. Yeah, well done. I look forward to hearing from you. Bye. See you in the next episode of the Zen Superman podcast.